on Slate Run. You can see the river behind us here and Slate Run coming into it. The pine is running in the low to mid-60s. About 3 feet. It would be really nice fishing right now, and I don't see a person on it. Everybody expects that it's muddy, and it has cleared up, so we're moving into a period of fishing here, although they are saying extreme thunderstorms today, and it could get muddied up again. But at any rate, we have a very strong flow, lots of water in the swamps on the mountains, so things look good for a few weeks. So if you're thinking about fishing, come on up and fish. One of the reasons for today's newsletter is to kind of recap this season. It was an odd season. It got started in February. We had an extremely warm February. You yourself, I remember you telling me about standing on the edge of the ice and catching nice brown trout right downriver a little bit. So a lot of fish held over through the ice and made it. And as we approach March, it got really miserable. March was windy, high water, and cold. Fishing, you could fish, but it was very challenging. Then we got into April. April was not a lot of warm weather, but it was fishable. And by first week of May, it was pretty good. By the end of the first week of May, it started raining every day. And it was pretty much a washout the rest of the month. The next 3 weeks of May were just washed out. And oddly enough, as we get extreme weather conditions here, by the end of the first week of June, the fish were congregating in the refuge areas. So it was a short season and very difficult to fish. There's a few fishermen that can catch trout in 5 feet of water. When pine's running at 5 feet, they can catch trout. You fish right on the shorelines and catch beautiful fish. But the average fly fisherman is not going to do that. So it was a challenging year. So here we are, first day of August, I guess it is, and the recap goes, it wasn't a season like we would hope for, but the neat thing about this project, it extended trout season on used to be 6 to 8 weeks at best. We get almost 10 months of fishing here now. If you take advantage of all of the water conditions, we have fishing usually through March, April, May, June, and by the end of June, July, the fish are starting to congregate. But then by mid-September, even on a bad year, by mid-September they're back out. We have fishing right up till the ice out. I have gentlemen that come in to catch it all winter long. They get trout in here. In the coldest, miserable weather, they're out there fishing. So the project has been very successful. I get a lot of comments that it's overcrowded. I get a lot of comments that people don't like the refuge areas open to fishing during periods of very warm, low water. I pretty much ignored that over the years, thinking, well, what's best for the fishermen and so on. It's obviously best for the fish if we don't catch them in a condition where they swim from 68-degree water into 80-degree water with only a 5 to 6, 7 foot movement. On the other hand, 2 years ago, I had a young gentleman come up to me in the store, and he said, "Are you Mr. Finkbeiner?" And I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "I'd like to shake your hand. I just caught a 24-inch brown trout." And I looked at his eyes, and that little kid was just thrilled. And I thought, wow. And I knew that he had to have caught it in where they've congregated in a refuge. And I thought, well, maybe it's a good idea to let people fish there, even if we could only have the younger people, because I figured that little kid's a trout fisherman forever now. Oddly enough, he came to me this spring, and he's still in his early teens, and he came to me, I think he might be 13 at this point, came up to me and said, I've been told and I understand that catching those fish at the mouth of the feeders like that in warm water is has a very negative impact on the fish and can kill them, and I'm going to quit fishing there. And I thought, wow, there's somebody had a really positive influence on that young man. He was extremely willing to accept that where he couldn't fish there. Now, In contrast, on the free fishing day in June, a gentleman, it could have been a father-son, it might have been a grandfather and grandson. He was also passing down a family tradition of gigging fish with big streamers where they were congregated. So he not only taught his son how to gig fish with a giant streamer, he taught him how to illegally kill fish and pretty much had no disregard for the law. And on his way out with his stringer of big dead brown trout, he was approached by a man and told that this is a no-kill trout area. He shrugged his shoulders and kept right on walking. Now we know it's impossible for the Fish Commission to simply patrol every area all the time. We know and understand that. But now I'm going to request in this newsletter, I want to see what the support is to limit fishing in these refuge areas when the fish congregate. I think that the support would be huge. A very high percentage of fishermen would support that. The ones that I hear from may not have real good excuses, like this gentleman that I just told you about. I'm sure he wouldn't support a no-kill area at the mouths of the feeder. So there's two incidents of how we're the next generation of fly fishermen. And I shouldn't say fly fishermen, because when we came up with this idea, the idea was not to exclude any class of fishermen. The area would just simply be protected, and it would be a no-kill trout area for the next 2.8 miles. Well, probably taking this project to its conclusion, you simply kill trout when you catch them in these refuge areas. So let's consider, and I want to get feedback from you. Do you want this or not? If you do, we have people in the Fish Commission that are aware of it and actually supportive of the idea. I get lots and lots of remarks about it. Oddly enough, the Fish Commission must like this area too, although no one from there has ever contacted me and talked to me about it. I understand there's, 16, 17, 18 keystone fisheries out there today. They were pretty much copied off of this idea. Not the no-kill area, because there are sections on rivers that just simply, if you don't kill them, they may not have springs and seepages that will hold the fish. This area has that, and it would be a shame to not take advantage of that and develop this and keep this fishery fishable, so we can fish for these guys 9, 10, 11 months a year. So it does work. The only thing we would restrict is fishing at the mouths of the feeder. Once they pull into a refuge area, you couldn't fish within 150 feet upstream, downstream, or cross-stream of that area. You'll find my email address here. Let me know what's going on out there. Contact us and see what kind of support we get for this. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.